Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Prof. Nenden and my dear friends. In this occasion, I would like to continue Pak Erwin's and probably also Bu Ina's presentation on developing online curriculum. And my topic would be on updating and developing course materials. So the outline for my presentation outline would be on knowing when to update course materials, gathering new materials, creating new course materials, activities, and assignments. For the inclusion of related theories, I would talk about ICT, the Internet and theories of learning, the Internet pedagogy and learning. Okay, now let's start with the first topic about knowing when to update course materials. Well, when teachers and institutions are going to update their course materials, so it is important to note that they should periodically update the courses or the modules used by the teachers and also students in learning. And when they make changes, especially in form of learner's computer system, so the changes should be announced well in advance to the students. And when there are also changes and improvements in technology, they should also explain this to the students. Well, when they make changes in the technology and also in the course materials, it should be important to note that the changes should be kept current technically. So they should go with the updated form of the technology. However, when they make the changes, they should remain accessible. So the changes they made in the course materials should be able to be accessed by the students. So here, teachers, learners, course designers, technical specialists, and administrators should know the schedule and regularly prepare new courses or update their existing ones. Well, for the processes of developing new course materials, they would be started by briefing up existing courses with new assignments, and then achieving a balance between new and old materials so that the overall course provides materials meet learners' needs, learning styles, and also expectations for an online course. And the third process would be helping learners develop additional skills or meet specific requirements. So when we are going to develop new course materials, we can consider the following factors. First, maybe we should know what kinds of assignments should be added. We need to consider this. And then when we are going to deliver the course materials, we need also to think about whether we are going to deliver it asynchronously or synchronously. And then we should also have to consider how does each assignment relate to other assignments and help learners in meeting their course objectives. And it is also important to note that the assignment we make should be unique. So it should not be the same with the old stuff or the previous course materials we already created for our learners or our students. Okay, now we come to the second topic about gathering new materials. Well, in gathering some materials, we should consider that the materials we are going to gather are not outdated. So the information for the course materials should be accurate and the tone still timely. And they should have been tested. And the course materials should provide learners with activities for their skill development. The course materials we gather should also allow learners to interact with them independently as well as in groups, and they may also elicit responses from the students. So and one thing which is also important that when we gather new materials, we need to consider about the cost. They should be cost effective and available for use in our online classes. And when we have evaluations in our online learning, so the evaluation should take place for each assignment listed in the syllabus. If, for example, we have 4 assignments, then there would be 4 evaluations we deliver to the students. Therefore, here teachers need to decide which materials are still relevant, which ones should be revised, which ones should be replaced, and then the numbers of the activities should be kept. We also need to consider this about the numbers of the activities we should keep in our materials. And when we are going to have new activities, so we need also to consider how many new activities need to be developed in our new materials. So the focus should be on keeping the quality of the course and the way the materials and the activities support and develop learner skills and also their knowledge. Okay, and then the next topic is creating new course materials. Well, course materials should be created by including the activities and assignments and the instructions for completing them. So, in creating new course materials, we may create syllabus, course schedule, reading lists, sample documents, created assignment and activities. And we may also have other sources, materials taken from other sources. It can be in form of documents that can be linked to the course site, video or audio files of important events, tours, interviews, or demonstrations. It can also be in form of interactive files such as questionnaires and simulations, corporate reports, government documents, movie clips, an essay, audio clip of famous speech, raw data from an experiment, a prize-winning photo, and also a demonstration of proper lab procedures involving documents and multimedia files. So those are the examples of materials taken from other sources. Now we come to the topic of activities and assignments. Well, assignments and activities should be clearly explained. They should be clearly spelled out in the grading policies for the course, the syllabus, and also the schedule of the deadlines. So here, learners should be aware of what is expected of them and how they would work, how they would be evaluated with the course materials given to them. So the types of materials should be developed and posted to the course website if teachers use website for their online learning. And it is also interesting to say that questionnaires, tests, simulations, video conferences, and chat sessions, as the example of the activities teachers may have in their online learning, they are more interactive and they require teachers to develop special materials. So here teachers need more time and they should work more when they are going to develop this kind of activities. And one thing which is also important about revising the materials, well, revising the descriptive materials should be done after they are being tested and before they are updated and also uploaded. Teachers should also determine the number of writing activities and also the types of assignments which are manageable for the students and rigorous enough for the subject matter and course level. Teachers need to prepare the assignment sheets that describe what exactly is required by learners and how and in what form the assignment must be submitted. And here are the things teachers can consider in their writing activities and also writing the assignments. Teachers may use multimedia materials, simulations, role-playing and problem-solving, lab activities, interactive questionnaires, video conferences, chat sessions, and other synchronous discussions, evaluation, descriptive information to help learners complete the course, and they may also locate materials created by other teachers. And when they use websites, they need to check about the websites. And it is also possible where teachers prepare to teach a course they did not design So they use other teachers' design, and teachers should be familiar with the materials and also the technology. So when technical problems happen during the session, teachers would be able to handle the problems. And teachers also should be alert about rapid changes in design, and they should also consider the philosophical differences between teacher and the designer, especially when teachers use others' design, so they do not use their own curriculum or their own course materials in their online learning. And they should be effective in their own course, and when they have problems, they can work with faculty mentor. They can help others to assist them in managing their teaching. Okay, now we come to the inclusion of related theories. I have taken from Pritchard's book, and his book is Effective Teaching with Internet Technologies. I have noticed that there are two topics which are relevant to the topics of my presentation today. And the first one is about ICT, the Internet, and theories of learning. I highlighted here that there are behaviorist and constructivist learning theories stated in the discussion, and I noticed that the author doesn't propose behaviorists to be used in online learning. Why is it like that? The reasoning is because behaviorist is characterized by memorizing, so it doesn't necessarily lead into an understanding of ideas, while in contrast, constructivist, in the other hand, it involves more thinking, more activity, and more interaction with others. The principles of constructivist learning in many cases are the most appropriate to apply in any learning situation, whether or not the internet is implicated. In constructivist learning, learning is considered to be a process of interaction between what is known and what is to be learned. It is considered to be a social process, a situated process, and also a metacognitive process. So these kind of characteristics are also can also be found in online learning. So that is why constructivist approach would be the approach appropriate used by the teachers in having online teaching. Okay, now the second topic about the additional or the inclusion of related theories, it is about the internet, pedagogy, and learning. Well, as we know that the internet is available to all teachers in all schools, and as a resource for teaching and learning, and as with all tools and resources used classroom, internet use should be carefully considered. So teachers here also need to decide on the approaches they would use in their online learning, and the integrity and usefulness of individual websites should also be carefully investigated when they are going to use it as their sources for their teaching. The characteristic of constructivist learning presented in effective internet-related and other ICT-dependent lessons include the use of primary sources of data, dealing with multiple perspectives, having pupil-directed goals, a degree of learner control, the use of real-world activities and context, the construction of knowledge rather than the presentation of facts, detailed reference to what pupils already know, problem solving, thinking about errors and misconceptions, scaffolding techniques, well-established formative assessments for learning. So here, when teachers are going to have their course material developed, so they must use primary sources of data in gathering the materials. They should consider their perspective, the goals that the teachers would like to have by their learning, and there should also control for the learner's development. And it is also important to rely the activities on real-world activities it should be contextual based learning, and the knowledge presented to the learners should be well constructed, so it should not be in form of presenting only facts, and we should be able to interact, to elicit students' responses, their background knowledge. So what is learned by their online learning would be able to develop their knowledge. And the materials created by teachers should stimulate students' critical thinking so that they would be able to solve problems. And in teaching, teachers should guide the students. They should scaffold the students, and they should be evaluated by using well-established formative assessment. Now we come to the conclusion of my presentation. For the first conclusion, online courses should encourage learners to interact with materials, ideas, and each other throughout the term. The core subject matter should not overlap other courses. It should be logical extension of previous courses and a bridge to more advanced content. Teachers need to direct learners to the linked information and activities. They may need to write instruction, assignment sheets, guidelines, sample documents, and other informative pieces to help learners understand how to use the course site and find what they are looking for. Throughout the course, teachers will need to provide individual assistance and facilitate learning through their presence as an instructor. Developing course materials is, of course, an ongoing job. Just because a course is approved should not mean that it becomes static term after term. As technology, subjects, and teacher and learners' expectations change, so should be the course. Well, I think that's all for my presentation. Here are the references I used for my presentation. Thank you for watching, for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.